have received a lot of responses to the program featuring Riley Martin. So this evening I thought that we might invite Mr. Martin back again.
We were taken out to a great mothership that is located near the rings of Saturn, that is between Saturn and one of its greater moons, I believe, Titan.
How much inbreeding has been done between human beings and these visitors?
We are carbon-based creatures made of literally the same chemosynthesis, the chemical materials. And so it's not inconceivable that ultimately there are some out there who can literally crossbreed with us.
What might happen if 6 was 9? What might happen if you were mine? What might happen if all is one? It seems to me, if I may, that we do have rendition, that is picking people up that we consider to be threats to the country, right? And so we have done these abductions before, yes? So,
and it's been unethical and,
well, of course,
criticized for it.
But nevertheless.
It's like this. You are a scientist. Okay. The jellyfish, the mouse, the seal,
yes,
and the mussel shell may think it's immoral for you to be picking them up, studying them, but you're going to do it.
But do we really think it's immoral to experiment with animals? There's a distinction between man and animal. I don't know if you're a vegetarian or not, but most people in America aren't. We eat them.
But there's a distinction between man and animal.
Yes.
But there's no distinction between animal and animal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They love their offspring just like we love ours.
But they're all equally below us.
If you want to get off into the ethics of things,
yes,
then you wouldn't be out there doing oceanography, nor breeding new fatless pigs, chickens at Kentucky Fried, etc., etc. So you can follow ethics all you want to. All I'm here to do is give you some information.
Okay.
I am not here to proselytize or not turn you into a Buddhist Catholic.
What I was getting at was, you watch a lot of these movies, and you see a lot of the aliens are out there to eat us, to make us their pets, and to enslave us. And I was thinking that perhaps if they did view us as inferior because of their advanced race and whatnot, that we would have to worry about that.
If they wanted to do anything to us, they could take one second-hand saucer and shut down the world. All electricity, all computers, wipe all computers. You wouldn't know where to take the grocery. Everything. They could do that at a moment's notice if they so desired. They do not so desire to do that simply because if you allow the guy with the biggest gun to go around jumping on the guy who don't have a big one, then the entire galaxy would deteriorate down into war and chaos. It would be open season.
Sort of like Hobbes' state of nature.
Yeah.
Yes.
But within certain parameters, yes, they can visit you. They can even examine you and things of this nature. As long as they are not here to kill you and what have you. And I would warrant that were we able to travel across the vastness of space, that we would be somewhere studying them too, if they could not prevent it.
Okay, since they're so technologically advanced and they have contacted you, couldn't they just give us the technology to solve the problems that we have here on Earth?
Well, of course, that's a good question. What if we should come and give you 500 years of life? 2/3 of the world is hungry now. You gonna quit having babies? You understand? Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing is hastening your doom, not helping you get over it. Are you going to change your religious views that you don't do contraceptives or family planning after you get 400 or 500 years of life? If I wipe out all diseases, people are dying by the millions every year, and we still can't feed everybody.
But couldn't they give us a way to produce food enough for all of those people if we lived long enough like that?
Oh, possibly so. Nonetheless, You're opening up a can of worms here. If you think you are going to take naked apes with guns and eventually turn them into a utopian society and think that one man won't own all the turnips and fish you out of the turnip field.
So it sounds to me, Brother Riley, that the concern of the Biavians roots back to what it is that you said before. They feel a sense of responsibility for that which they have
they
visited or influenced.
Yeah,
yes,
they started.
right.
Otherwise, we would not have advanced so fast.
Exactly.
Under other circumstances.
Right. So there isn't a linear, there isn't a we're better, they're lesser view,
No.
it seems to me.
We are them eventually to be.
Indeed.
Should we survive, but there's no guarantee
Now,
that we survive.
Indeed. Now, we do already have technology that has taken us leaps and bounds beyond the buggy and horse, if you will. But it seems to me that we haven't evolved in terms of being able to appreciate
what I'm saying.
the unity of the human species.
At this time.
Right, at this time.
At this time in our history, we can kill every man, woman, and child, and animal 20 times over. We have the throwaway to do it.
True.
Yet, we have not yet come to love our fellow man or our neighbor across the fence, let alone around the world.
Well said.
You see?
Well said.
This is a time when 95% of all wares rest within the hand of 2% of humanity. This is the time when the lives of the young are just given freely, like cannon fodder, for to raise the riches and the gluttony of the handful of conglomerates and things of this nature. It was seen that we are deteriorating at a rapid scale. We are killing Mother Earth.
You had an opportunity, and forgive me, because you're so passionate. Over the years that I've known you, I mean, you are literally, I think of you very much like the prophets of old. I'm not joking, right? Who gave warnings.
Yeah.
Who gave warnings. It wasn't a prediction, it was a warning.
Yeah.
Now, and the warning always came as a result of trying to get us back to loving ourselves so that we might be able to love our neighbor.
Yes, of course.
Now, Riley, you had an opportunity to stay.
Yes, I did.
Why did you come back? Why did no? And I'm really serious. And I could smell you trying to figure this one out. Or bring this up.
Right. I'm getting you on a big pair of them hobnob boots,
Yes.
so he can kick my butt.
Yes,
All the way back to Warren County.
I got you.
However,
Got
I
you.
gave my word that I would give it a shot because I happen to believe that there is something great and noble in my fellow man, no matter his race, creed, color, or origins. That ultimately we can, just like the flowers in the field, the birds in the air, the little animals running through our house, know what's right and wrong, and begin to someday see the light and start doing this toward one another. I'd rather buy you all than to kill you for it. Simple as that.
Got you.
Why aren't they more public about who they are? What do they have to lose if they're so powerful about being sort of open visitors from outer space?
It's like they will not alter your destiny because in order to change us from our ways, they would have to take over. This would be a type of conquest. And thus, they're not going to allow that to happen because, I mean, they would have to literally, to give us anything of value, they would literally have to more or less state why they're doing it and sociologically handle the rest of it from a theological level. Everything would have to be altered if we got more than we have now too quickly with the same mindset that we have and what have you. However, they're not hiding. We've got millions of feet of film of them.
Okay.
Half of Phoenix stood there and watched them for hours. Half of Mexico City, including the governor, watched them in broad daylight. And what have you. They're not hiding. So their presence Look at the crop circles.
Okay, if they're not hiding, is there any chance that you can get Tan or one of your friends to come on a show like this with us? I think that would I think that would convince a lot of people.
I don't think we have
Keep
enough
us to do
security.
that.
Well, I don't know. If I may just interject, I don't know whether people would believe it because we have a rough enough time dealing with things that are terrestrial.
How's about, let me see if I can engineer a close-up with you and them somewhere,
Okay.
and then you can come back and tell it, okay?
Oh, I'd definitely be for that.
Cool.
I've got a lot of friends in the skeptical
I'll see
community.
I will see what I can
But
do.
how about this? Could I get some of my friends from the scientific community to be there and to perform like a lab-based test?
Well, unfortunately,
They could vet
my power of persuasion with them is not so great until I can command what they do. Nonetheless, on several occasions, I have had people at certain coordinates, and they did show.
Okay. I would take you up on that. I might be able to win $1 million because I know people in the scientific community who would say, you know, you show us evidence of Dr. James Randy, you show us evidence of this, I'll pay you $1 million. You know.
At this time in the history of the world, all things considered, the elemental of everything from architecture to minicams, if by this time they have not yet concluded that we are probably not alone in the universe, then they ain't got no business being scientists in the first place.
Speaking of evidence, Riley, there was a UFO crash in Roswell. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what effect did it have on humanity?
Came out of a quantum window that is a space tunnel, so to speak, too low into our stratosphere, got hit by a lightning bolt when the fusion core was shaken, was down near Roswell in the desert. 4 occupants, 3 died immediately, 1 lived for 2 weeks. We have some of the technology, been trying to back engineer it ever since. Okay?
Well, Riley, I want to nail, well, you've already spoken to the technological aspect because we do have the rise of robotics.
Oh, of course.
And that had to come from somebody,
Yeah.
even though they say they're human.
The Japanese, they took 21 symbols from me about 15 years ago and went back and started putting them through Wayne mainframes and all that. Shortly thereafter, they came out with a biped robot. No one on earth has ever done that before. The mere factor of your standing up, keeping your balance and walking on 2 feet requires literally tens of millions of bytes of information. But this machine can do it, and they're the only ones that can do it.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What about mind control, the subject of mind control? Folks are like, you know, maybe the people who have been abducted have just been rigmarole in their brain. No, you know what I mean? And, you know, like the rat. They're always trying to eat a brain. No, you know, like a Jack
crazy.
I mean, you know.
Well, it's like this. This is why the book is written. This is why I only went to the 8th grade in school.
Indeed.
I invite all the greatest minds and implore them to come and talk to me. And if some alien has imbued me with this much knowledge, I'll take it. You understand?
Gotcha.
Without grumbling about it.
Yes, sir.
If indeed, somehow, I have metamorphed into learning propulsion systems, concepts of time travel and all of these type of things, then apparently they weren't beating me in the head, you understand, and eating my guts at the same time.
Right.
You know?
well, Riley, frankly, some folks consider you a little wacky.
Well, yeah.
No, wait a minute.
So does my
because
wife.
I bless Joy. But I mean, and some, if I may use some what journalists say, some people feel that some of the rantings that have been on that website, yes, Wikipedia, are true rantings. You know, just.
Oh, you're talking about me and Howard Stern.
There you go.
The mere fact.
There you go.
The mere fact that I have not succumbed to a continuous mad rant forever means that I'm wrapped pretty tight when dealing with them fools.
Okay. Okay, all right, enough said, enough said. Well, Brother Rowe or Eron, have you another question? I mean, because Eron, you're always accompanying Riley. I was going to fire a question at you, if I may.
Certainly.
You see me, you got to see
But Brother Rowe, if you want to hit a question up right now, you know you may, because I got one for
Go to Iran and then
Eron.
Yeah.
You've been accompanying Riley for how long?
Oh, a little bit over 10 years now. And
So now, can you tell us a little bit about Riley? You know, the everyday aspect of Mr. Riley Martin?
I can tell you that, well, first of all, I pretty much, I'm his co-host on Sirius Satellite Radio Show,
Indeed.
as well as Artist First, but I pretty much consider myself as an archivist of his work. I have literally hundreds of hours of audio tape interviews, videotape interviews. I've accompanied him to lectures all across the country, pretty much. And so I archive his stuff, as well as personal artifacts of things I have of his, letters and whatnot. And so, but as far as him as a person, what marvels me about him is that he just has an undying faith in humanity, and that we are going to turn this around. He has it more than I have it, because I lose faith in people, and he just fascinates me that he has this capacity to love humanity.
That don't mean they don't get me PO'd.
No, yeah, clearly in reading the book, we
right.
have definitely PO'd you.
If you want to see him pedo, listen to him. Listen to him go at it with Howard Stern.
Oh, no, I tasted I had a taste of it. I don't want you to freak out on me. Listen,
I ain't gonna do that, Doc.
I'm going to flip it on my brother. You know what I mean? Brother Rowe, have you another one?
Yeah, I was interested by the fact that you mentioned that wheat, in fact, did not evolve naturally here on Earth, that it's in fact of Biavian origin, and I also learned that dolphins also did not evolve on Earth, that they were also from another planet. Maybe talk about that and also mention some of the other things which are common in our everyday lives which didn't in fact originate on Earth but on these other planets.
Yeah, well, I have not did a complete inventory on all that originated here. The reason wheat stood out is because before the time of the visitors, mankind was mostly hunter-gatherers. They followed the monsoon rain, the herds, and the grazing areas and things of this nature. They did not have a static food base. The Biavians introduced wheat so that they would have a static food base. That is to feed the animal, feed the people, start doing animal husbandry, irrigation, settle down in one spot, and all of this so that they could have social intercourse with them, intercollusion and what have you. So wheat was introduced here. The Niptonians brought the dolphins because the dolphins are like their sheepdogs or what have you, to round up the fish. They don't fish the fish in, but the dolphins keep them corralled, and when they need them, cut them out and bring them there, and et cetera, as well as do intelligence work, as far as checking out the humans and stuff on land, you know, all of this. Yeah.
So Riley, finally, it seems to me that your experience is very much like that of those who were visited by angels.
Yeah.
It sounds like that to me.
Yeah. And Professor,
Yes.
let me interject.
Please.
Okay. If someone in the rainforest now seen somebody coming down in a helicopter and they never saw a helicopter before, they would easily construe them as angels.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Yes.
But remember this: those cherubim, the sons of God that took those girls and started banging them and getting babies, does not appear to me to be etheric angels. You see what I mean? You understand? So therefore, I'm inclined to believe that there were physical entities down there with the girls.
Right.
Which is where I would have been too if I'd have been with them.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a ghost.
My name is Rymar the Great or something. I'd have been right in there with them.
I must say this to you. I love you, man. But you know, I was looking at your name, Martin, and I noticed that you have the word tan in your name.
Oh, I never thought of that.
And when I looked at the back of your book, you guys have very interesting, similar qualities. cheekbone,
Yeah.
structure of
Who
face.
knows?
I'm being serious.
Or if I, because they generally tend to follow the blood lineage of, no, that's pretty good.
Thank you, sir.
They tend to follow the blood lineage down through the ages. Or they pick one out here and one out there and what have you over time. Maybe that's why he loves me so much.
I think so.
I'm going to ask him that when I see him again.
If I have just just a little bit more time, I said finally, but I want to ask you about this little companion that was hanging
question.
around you. Question. The beaver-looking brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, when was the last time that you saw a question?
I saw a question, he was there each time I went up. On December 28, 1987, he was riding with Tan, you know. And me and Tan, we had a moment, you know, where I had decided to come back here and we were getting kind of mushy. Question said, I am automatically fixing to puke. You keep this crap up, you know, like.
He sounds like you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I'm telling you,
yeah.
because I've known you for some time. His humor, his wit
Right.
sounds just like you.
Very much.
Yeah, well, he took his matrix from my head,
Gotcha.
but he just settled on the pragmatic and the wise guy part instead of my angelic qualities. You know,
Yes. Do you think that a question might have been the Avian's way of surveying you?
yes, they don't do anything without a reason, but telepathy is good because it stimulates, I believe, the limbic region of the brain. It can be almost sensual at times, and you get used to it and you like it. You can't come back to Earth and use it.
Gotcha.
It's not a precise science, so you need somebody to talk to. Question could talk. They can't. I mean, not verbalize, like
Gotcha.
hello, hi.
That's right.
So you need to exercise your vocal cords.
Gotcha.
That was one of his main jobs, was to, you know, talk to me. You know?
Well, Riley, you know what? I really want to thank you, Iran.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Anytime,
Professor Rowe.
Professor Rowe. I
man.
love you, Professor
Hey,
Rowe.
thank you.
Yeah.
I love you
I
too.
really do love you.
No, really,
Yeah.
really. But I want to thank you for coming again, allowing us to question you more.
It's my pleasure.
Given the limited amount of time that we have,
Yes, indeed.
there is so much more to,
We got to
plumb.
we have got to set aside more time whenever possible because I want Professor Rowe again.
All right.
I'll be back.
We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
Yeah, right. That's
Well-
what I'm saying.
Welcome, and again, I mean it. Welcome back. You know what I mean. Thank you for your continued work, your love of the species, us. You know, and I really mean it, brother. We hope to see you again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you've enjoyed this segment of What Might Happen, and I'm just going to end with this question: What might happen if all is one? Do you
Yes.
hear me? Good night. Peace. Brother,
Thank you, Professor.
Iran.
Love you.